Wow, what a game. I tell you what, that game kept me entertained from minute zero all the way until the final whistle. Liverpool 2, Fulham 2. And I think Fulham will be happy with the point, but I think Liverpool did put in the better performance despite having 10 men for the majority of that game. You can look at the XG. Liverpool had 2.34 XG to Fulham's 1.09. I think Liverpool maybe had the chances to go ahead and win that game, and some of them may be kicking themselves that they didn't win that game. But I think in terms of what the Liverpool players showed today, I think they gave everything. If I was a Liverpool fan, I'd be quite happy with that because I'd see Arsenal dropping points, City dropping points, Chelsea the biggest threat. But I'd be like, 10 men wasn't to be the day. But what did Liverpool show? A good performance with a better side, and they got a point out of that game. They didn't lose that game, and the players kept going and going. And Arne Slot made some really clever and intelligent substitutions throughout that game as well. And I think that he managed the game incredibly well. And there were some really good performances. I think Gravenberch absolutely stand out. Diogo Jota, not played a minute of football in 2 months, comes back and scores an absolutely unbelievable goal. It was a fantastic game. And I have to say, because obviously I had two screens on. I had the Arsenal screen on one game, I had the Liverpool screen on the other. Sorry, I had the Arsenal game on one screen and the Liverpool game on another screen. The Arsenal game was sending me to sleep. I actually ended up putting the Newcastle game on for the second half because I couldn't watch Arsenal; they were sending me to sleep. So I will do a Newcastle video later, but we're going to talk about Liverpool. Because I mean, here as you can see, Robertson and Iwobi did cause them problems down that left-hand side. I think Trent was probably one of the weaker spots in today's game. Considering that Robertson was sent off, they seem to capitalise more on the left-hand side rather than the right-hand side, Fulham, which might surprise people. But I also do realise that Trent had a lot more space to defend, and obviously Liverpool played a high line. But I thought Robertson and Iwobi did cause Liverpool some problems down that side. You can see there with the progression and carry. It also shows how good Van Dijk was playing out the back. But let me give you my general thoughts on the game, and then I'm going to go into Gravenberch. I want to talk about Jota. I want to talk about Harvey Elliott. I want to talk about Szoboszlai, and then I want to talk about the left-back situation and the January transfer window for Liverpool. But I don't think the referee did Liverpool any favours. I think, the Diop red card was a shout. The Tete red card was a shout. There was penalty shouts. I think that Robertson should have been sent off. It was silly from him. I think Van Dijk would have got back. I can understand frustration from Liverpool fans that maybe Diop didn't get sent off. It does look a lot worse in slow-mo. And, I think that's one of those where another referee sends them off and VAR doesn't overturn it. And, yeah, the referee today did not do Liverpool any favours. And I'm saying that as a Man United fan. But, you got to go win the game. Liverpool started the second half very well, I thought. I thought the way Liverpool came out in the second half, and they've done that a lot this season, they came out excellent. They looked, the first 10 minutes of the second half, when they scored and everything, I thought Liverpool going to win this. They're going to win this. They look like the team that had 11 men. Fulham looked like a team of 10 men in terms of the approach. Arne Slot also at 1-1 didn't want to park the bus and go for a draw. I think he wanted to win that game. Liverpool wanted to win that game. You saw it at the end. But Liverpool played like a team of 11 men. I know under Klopp, when Nunes came off the bench and they beat Liverpool with 10 men, and they gave everything. It was very similar to that. And I think had they been more clinical, I think that they would have won that game. I think that they weren't actually clinical enough today. I actually think they had opportunities to win the game. And I thought they came out really well in the second half. Fulham grew into the game. Robinson scored. Robinson assist. Nunes goal. Sorry. I mean, Robinson's in my fantasy, Robinson. So he's done me a few favours today because the other players in my fantasy, like Captain Saka, didn't show up today versus Everton. But I thought, Fulham, caused Liverpool problems in transition with the pace, and maybe Liverpool need to look at getting someone pacey in the back line. But I thought that Liverpool controlled the midfield. I thought Szoboszlai, Curtis Jones and Gravenberch was excellent. Gravenberch as centre-back was absolutely excellent. And I felt that Liverpool did play the better football and were on top for lots of that game. And Szoboszlai was just a running machine. And I think in games with 10 men, you need players that can run and bring the energy. And that's what he did. But I just think maybe Trent could have done a bit more to get back. He did get caught out of position a couple of times. I think he would be the weak point from Liverpool in that game. And I think Trent's a really good player. I think he's improved defensively this season. But I think, a lot of problems were coming down that left-hand side. And I think he could have maybe done a better job defensively. The shot goal was unreal. The touch, the turn, the way he took that, you don't expect him to score when he receives the ball in that area. And the way he took it away, he sent the keeper the wrong way. It was excellent. And Liverpool created some real chances to win the game. And you can see from the underlying statistics and numbers here that Liverpool had the greater threat throughout the game. Fulham had a period to begin with the red card where they were a bit more threatening. But as the game went on, Liverpool obviously had the more threat throughout the game. Now, I watched that game and I have to say that I think Robertson had a very bad game. And I do think he's probably the weak point in this Liverpool side because this isn't the first bad game he's got. I just think he's on his last legs. I think potentially, to be fair to Robertson, whatever Diop did to his leg, I think he felt because I think that did affect him. And maybe had that not happened, the red card doesn't happen. You never know. But I felt like watching that game, Kirkers and Robinson. Liverpool was screaming out for a January move. Both would be available for around 25 to 30 million in January. I think Liverpool have got to go out and get one of these guys in January. I spoke about Aït-Nouri before, but I think Aït-Nouri is better suited to about 5. There's good left backs out there like Loku and Dorgu, but they're young. They're not Premier League proven. It's a bit of a risk. I think Liverpool with signings like Van Dijk, signings like McAllister, signings like Jota, even Robertson when he came from Hull. I think Liverpool and Wijnaldum, you could go back even further. When you sign a Premier League ready-made product that you know exactly what they deliver, I think is the kind of January signing you want to make. In the summer, I think you can make those sort of youth investments. But if in January you're wanting to win a title, Chelsea are catching you, they could cause you some problems. You never know. I don't think City will. Arsenal can't seem to score an open play. If I'm Liverpool and I'm, Richard Hughes, Michael Edwards, I'd be looking at Kirkers and Robinson. I think Anthony Robinson was almost auditioning for Liverpool today with that performance. Unbelievable. I'm glad he's in my FPL, but there's also players like Kirkers that can really cause a problem. If you watch them versus Tottenham, got 2 assists versus Manchester City, and they're both energetic players that get down the flanks. I do think Robinson's a bit more defensively secure, but Kirkers is younger and probably has a higher ceiling. But I think that's what Liverpool need. That and maybe a midfielder just to help out Gravenberch, who has to play every game because Slot doesn't trust Endo, I think could make a big difference. I think Liverpool probably also need a striker because Núñez isn't showing enough and Jota gets injured. But I don't know what striker Liverpool could get in the January window. Marmoush looks summer. João Pedro, Cunha, they could be good options. But again, Wolves aren't going to sell Cunha, their best player, if they're going to go down. Gyökeres isn't going to go anywhere till the summer because Sporting have fallen off. Who knows? But I want to give Arne Slot credit today because I thought he made some really good subs and tweaks. I think to go down to 10 men, you have to completely change the game plan. I think he did that well. Having Gravenberch drop into the centre-back role and change the formation well worked really well for him because I felt that Liverpool was still able to defend the wide areas well and still able to get out wide. They had all the numbers in midfield. They controlled the midfield. I think when you go down to 10 men, if you can control the midfield and you have players in your midfield like Curtis Jones, obviously Gravenberch was in defence, but Szoboszlai as well that can run and move, that was really crucial. But they played with a high line. They played an attacking approach and maybe the high line caught them out a bit. But they were able to get out wide. They were able to control the midfield. He did not let the fact that he had one less player stop Liverpool from playing attacking, expansive football. And, as a Man United fan, I'm very jealous of that because I think Ruben Amorim's definitely coming in and I'm seeing small progress with every game under Ruben Amorim, and every Man United fan knows it's the players, not the manager at United. But we just want to see good football at Manchester United. And even with 10 men, there was times, where Liverpool weren't at their best and there was times where Fulham were on top and as you'd expect. But there were some real periods in the game where Liverpool were playing some good stuff, particularly first 10 minutes of the second half, and then the last 15 minutes at the end. I think Anfield got going, the shot of goal, the momentum. Fulham panicked a bit, parked the bus, put pressure on them. I thought Liverpool were excellent, but man of the match has to be Gravenberch, whether it's centre back, whether it's DM. He ran the game. I mean, I said he's been Liverpool's best player this season. People gave me stick in the comments saying it's been Salah. I think that Salah is the best player in the world this season, but I feel like in a weird way, Gravenberch's been Liverpool's best season because of his just every single game he's fantastic. Like Salah today, unbelievable assist. He's a game winner. But Salah didn't have his best game today, but he can do something to make sure Liverpool walk away with points. Whereas Gravenberch, midfield, it dictates the game. If Liverpool have a good game in general, that's dependent on Gravenberch. I think he's been excellent this season. I think he did so well in the deeper role, so well at centre-back. And to think that Gravenberch's natural position is an 8, when Gravenberch was playing as an 8 for Ajax, he was being compared to Pedri, Musiala and Bellingham. There's a reason for that because of how good he was at an 8 with his technical qualities, ball carrying, link-up play, touches. But the fact that he's gone into Liverpool and he's played DM, he's played defensive midfielder, and Slot has found that Gravenberch and utilised that unbelievable, because I felt actually when he moved, I thought he was unbelievable centre back. I think what really impressed me with Gravenberch as centre back was he wasn't out of position. He knew where to be. He knew where to get wide. He knew the space to cover. He was unbelievable on the ball, breaking the lines as he always is. But when he was pushed into midfield, he started to drive forward. I think the crowd got going. He was making those runs from deep, and his ball progression and driving forward was massive. And I think after the Jota goal, you see Gravenberch really, really causing some problems, because he's a classy player. He's positionally aware, very good on the ball. And I think the fact that he's been so consistent is crazy, because he obviously was moulded in under Klopp last season, played here and there, but wasn't totally convincing, but also showed some good signs and sparks under Klopp, but wasn't, pushing on the door to be starting week in, week out. And then Gravenberch's come in and said he's got these technical attributes, he's got these physical attributes, and Arne Slot knew how to use him, and he's been unbelievable this season. So that is, again, credit to Slot for knowing that Gravenberch has these technical and physical attributes and wanting him in as his DM rather than Endo, because he couldn't get Szoboszlai. And when it comes to ball carrying, ground coverage, duel winning, retention, breaking lines of progression, Gravenberch has it all. And I think if you watch one of my videos back in April, I said that Gravenberch is someone that I think would benefit the most under Slot. And I actually felt that Gravenberch, when even Liverpool had dropped off, but in the last 3 or 4 games under Klopp, when Liverpool weren't doing well, I thought Gravenberch stepped up in those last 3 or 4 games under Klopp and showed something. But the guy that made the difference off the bench was Jota. I understand bringing Núñez on. I think he runs and you need him in those kind of games, but he's not doing enough. I feel there's a player in Darwin Núñez. But I've said, I say the same with Marcus Rashford. I think there's a player there, but there's something that they need to unlock in their own head, and you can't keep giving them chances if they're not going to unlock it. And then sometimes it's best to look elsewhere. But yeah, I thought Jota was excellent. 12 minutes, 22 touches, 10 out of 13 passes completed, 6 touches in the box, 5 duels won, which is really impressive. He really got stuck in. The energy that he brought as well was unbelievable. 3 out of 3 take-ons completed, 2 chances created, 2 shots, 1 goal. That, the impact from Jota, that is one of the best sub cameos I've seen. 10 men, he comes on, he wins 5 duels, 3 out of 3 take-ons, creates 2 chances and scores an unbelievable goal in 12 minutes. You cannot deny the fact that is one of the best sub cameos that you've seen, especially for a player that hasn't played in months, hasn't even had a little run in here and there to get back to fitness. He came with that intensity, that desire. And I say this now, Liverpool have missed Jota in recent games. Maybe if they had Jota versus Newcastle, they win that game 4-3 because he's clinical. Darwin Núñez misses chances. Diaz has had an excellent season, but he will miss chances. I actually thought Salah today wasn't his best in front of goal. He lifted it over and maybe he could have played in Szoboszlai. But Jota's that guy when Liverpool if they're creating the chances and not scoring, Jota's that guy that they can rely on. And I think he's fantastic. And I think because of his fitness issues, they will need a striker. But he was unbelievable today. And another player I want to give credit to is Szoboszlai. Dominik Szoboszlai made the most recoveries, 6, won the most tackles, 2, while he was on the pitch for Liverpool versus Fulham. He also created 3 chances and won 5 out of 7 duels. Tons of energy again, good performance. I thought Szoboszlai was excellent as well as Gravenberch and as well as Jota. And I thought Curtis Jones was good. I think the whole midfield was fantastic because I think Liverpool controlled the midfield. And I think he won the ball back lots of times. He got stuck in. I think his work rate, his desire to get all over the pitch. He's been getting a lot of stick like Dominik Szoboszlai, but I think that actually he's been really good, maybe 3-4 games in a row for Liverpool now. And I think he's starting to create chances and have an influence on the game, and he's winning his duels. But I think it was his ground coverage, his pressing, his movement to get stuck in, win the ball back, win the second balls that helped Liverpool. And I saw people slagging Harvey Elliott off online, and I think people need to remember Harvey Elliott has come back from a big injury into a new system. He needs game time to grow and get confidence. I saw a lot of people saying he's pony and stuff, but I thought Harvey Elliott had a good game. And if you disagree with me, let me know why. But I thought what Harvey Elliott does and what he's proven at Liverpool is he's very good at breaking down low blocks and finding spaces between the lines, receiving the ball, turning, and then playing those passes to thread it through. He played a good ball into Salah. I think he's very good at that. And I thought that actually he was making some good passes. He was getting into some good areas. Yes, maybe a wasteful cross. But I do think he suits number 10 in Slot system. I think with minutes, with confidence, he could work one Slot system. And I thought that he helped Liverpool get going a bit. I thought he was quite intelligent and he made some very good passes. And as I said with Szoboszlai, really got better these last few games, consistently creating chances. I thought it was everywhere today. I thought his energy, his running was what Liverpool needed with 10 men. And I thought that Liverpool's midfielders have done themselves proud. And I think, there's definitely a few areas of Liverpool they need to improve in their fatiguing. I think Newcastle 3-3, they probably weren't at their best versus Girona, and they weren't at their best today. But I think with 10 men, Liverpool can be proud and happy with that performance. I think had they had 11 men, you can be a bit more, But I think in general, Liverpool, I don't know if cracks are showing, but I think fatigue is showing, injuries are showing, and I think there's going to be investment needed. I think Konate is going to need to come back. I thought Joe Gomez was excellent today, but you know what I mean. But I think Liverpool need the legs, and I think, they need a bit of fitness, and I think with the games coming thick and fast, I think it might catch up to them a bit. But I do think the Liverpool are good. I think they will win the league, sadly, but there is still a long way to go. And I think if Liverpool want to win the league, they're going to have to invest and give Arne Slot some support in January. Let me know your thoughts down below. Thank you for watching. Bye.